Good evening. Our discussion for tonight was about communication and effective techniques and things you can do to create uh, positive communication between one another. And depending on the type of relationship it is, it might be different. And of course, being different people, we have different ways we communicate and handle things. So the two relationships that I wanted to speak about tonight were family, communication between my family, and communication in a relationship. First off, family. Uh, I really try to create a positive communication climate with my family by just always being truthful because it's family. They're gonna be there for you, or they should be there for you, no matter what. Um, they should always have your back. So I mean, I feel like you could be completely honest with your family about whatever, and that you should feel comfortable with telling them things like that. One technique I use to support uh my family is just it's not even really a technique. It's just family. So I feel like you just got to be there. You know what I'm saying? Whether you agree with it or not. You know what I'm saying? Especially they might need you since your family, you're close to each other like that. They're gonna need your support, and I feel like it's important to give it to them as long as it's something they know they want. Like they know they want it and they know that's what they want to do. Then you should be there for them. You know, it might not everybody's gonna do everything the way that you want it to be done or how you want it to. You know, things like that. So it really is important that you just support your family. You know, be with them whatever they need help with. If you can help them, just help them. And that's really how I show support for my family. Just be there for them whenever they need me. If I can provide for them, I'll provide for them. So and effective feedback. Depending on what it is, I always show effective feedback by telling them exactly. Like I said, this all bring comes back to honesty. You know, being honest with them. If it'll help them, in the future in a lot of different ways actually. Whether it's telling them that hey, you did this way, but it would have been a better outcome if you did it that way, or what I'm saying. Don't be afraid to be open with them because that's your family, that's your people who's always gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you can count on them, so they're gonna need you as much as you need them, and it's really important to be honest with them and tell them what you think about things and they're more since they're family, they're more likely to take heed to your advice than let's say friends or coworkers or things like that. So that's definitely something when it comes to family. Those are definitely things that I think in, and that's how I use to communicate with my family. On the relationship side, uh, I would say that I mean there really is certain ways you go about handling relationships. I mean, me, what I pride myself in is always being able to tell, being open. At least let me say, being open with everything and anything. No matter what. Like even the stupidest things. Just being able to communicate effectively and you know never having to worry about not being told something or things like that. So how I use the techniques I use to create a positive environment. Just you just gotta understand, try to understand the best you can when they're explaining something. You create a positive environment by, just try to see where they're coming from as being your partner. Then you should be supportive of them. You know, um, always try to look at it as a relationship is where two people I feel like benefit from each other and also make each other better. You know what I'm saying? So try to just grow with each other and make each other better people than they were before. I feel like that's the whole point of a relationship is you become one with somebody, you grow with somebody, and you become better together. So being positive, being supportive, and really, what I'm saying, just understand. Being understanding is probably the biggest thing you can do when it comes to creating a positive climate in a relationship. How I provide supportiveness is really like I said before, man. You just gotta be understanding about it. Talk about it. Be open about it. There's no right or wrong. Like I said, there's for you, it might be you're not the same people, so your partner might look at something differently than you do. So you just gotta understand it from both sides. And like I said, you want to grow with each other and make people better. So if it's something that'll make them better and you know it'll make them better in any type, way, or form, give them some sort of experience, then you should be all for it. It'll make them a better person. They'll grow, which means if they grow, then they're going to grow with you, so you'll grow as well. So it's kind of beneficial to both. And providing effective feedback, yes, people argue in relationships. Of course, people have their disagreements and things like that. But at the end of the day, I feel like you should, to provide effective feedback. Like I said, this all resonates back to honesty and just being open with each other. So providing effective feedback, like, hey, if you don't like something that they're doing, or or you support, like, hey, like, what I'm saying, this is how this makes me feel, or this is this is great that you're doing this, or it's not so great that you're doing this, but what I'm saying, just give them an understanding of how you feel, because if you hide what you're feeling with your partner, then they're never gonna know, and what I'm saying, that creates distance and uncertainty and things like that. And nobody really has time for that. Nobody wants to do that. So when you're with somebody, you want to feel as close and honest with each other as possible. Because if you were doing something and you asked your partner about it, you want them to be truthful. You know what I'm saying? If you were doing something that you weren't sure about and you asked for advice, you would want them to give you honest advice. You wouldn't want them to just be like, "Oh yeah, you should go ahead and do it," if you're not sure about it, and you don't want them to just go with the flow type thing. So um, those are really relationships. When it comes to relationships, at all, both in all senses, it all comes back to being open and honest with each other. So yeah, you guys have a good night.